My name is Nick Alexander.
My name is Rex Casey.
And I'm the guy that just went into the Pizza Inn on April 23rd, last Monday, and I presented them with a free buffet coupon. And well, let me just start off by saying I got the coupon from my pastor, who was actually a supervisor at a former place where I used to work at. And when I walked into the restaurant, I had the coupon in my hand, and I walked up. There was two young ladies there, and I presented it to the ladies. I showed them. I said, "I have a free buffet coupon here, and I like to utilize it." And they took the coupon and looked at it, and they took it back to their manager. Before the manager came up, I overheard him saying something. He asked a question, but then he popped up behind. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "All right." He was like, "So where did you get the coupon from?" And I told him. I said, "I got it from a supervisor that I worked with." I didn't tell him he was my pastor or anything because I didn't feel I had to go into that. Right. So he was like, "Okay." Then he was like, "Well, I can't really recognize the signature." You know, he looked at it, you know, kind of looked at it again, looked at me. And then I was like, "Well, okay, you know, well, you can't recognize the signature. Is everything all right?" He was like, "Well, these coupons have to be signed by either my manager or my district manager." So, and I'm still sitting there like, you know, just thinking, okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm still going to use the coupon or not. He goes, "Well," then he goes and asks me another question, which kind of threw me off a little bit. He was like, "Well, where do you work at?" And when he said that, I was like, what kind of thrown back, like, what does that matter? Well, you know, I work at the supervisor, I got it from work at Aurora, but what does that matter? You know, I'm going to be able to use the coupon or not. Basically, long story short, he just told me that he couldn't honor the coupon. I asked him, could he hand me back the coupon? No friction or nothing like that. And I just walked out the establishment, you know. And not thinking about it, I was feeling some kind of way as soon as I walked out the door, I was feeling some kind of way, but I really didn't think too much of it. But I did go out when I sat in my car in the parking lot, and I had the coupon with me, and I set the coupon on my leg like this, and I took a picture of it and just made a generic post to Facebook. Was like, "Hey, I just left out of a restaurant." I ain't mentioned race or anything like that. I said, you know, this manager came in, and you know, he came out, asked me about the coupon, blah blah blah, and I was turned away. I'm feeling some type of way, you know. And that's when, just probably about 20-30 minutes later, after I got back to the house, my roommate here, Mr. Rex Casey, came and he asked me a question. He said, "Hey man, I saw your post on Facebook." I was like, all right. Really still not thinking about it. I'm just, you know, he's just gonna be there to, you know, "Hey, I got, you know, I'm sorry that happened to you, my brother." That's what I'm thinking. He goes, "Well, do you still have the coupon?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I still got the coupon." Then he goes, "Well, if you don't mind, I want to do something." I'm like, "What you want to do?" "I want to take the coupon down there and see if they allow me to use the coupon." And then we politic for a minute, we talked for a second, and then tell them what happened next.
Right, so I had seen his post that he put on Facebook, and when I saw it, you know, I knew that he was really upset. He doesn't normally go on Facebook to vent or anything like that. So when I saw how upset he was about it, I was on my way home at the time. So when I got home, you know, I asked him if I could see the coupon, if he still had it. And when he handed it to me, I just told him I'm going to head down to Pizza Inn and see if they take it from me. And so I drove down there, and that's when I drove down there, and I think when I parked my car in their parking lot is when I had the idea to pull out my phone and start documenting it on my Snapchat. And the reason why I documented it on Snapchat is because, like, even as I was doing this, I was thinking, okay, you know, I'm going to walk in there and they're going to give me, you know, some kind of reason, some kind of policy why they can't take it. The same thing they told Lincoln, and they're going to turn me away. And then, you know, I really didn't think anything would come out of it, which is the total opposite of what happened. But that's why I documented it on Snapchat. I really just thought it would be an interesting story to share with some of my friends. So, you know, I made a little video while I was in the parking lot saying what had happened to Link and that he had been turned away and that he felt like it might have been for a discriminatory reason because the policies that he was given when he was turned away and the fact that they, for some reason, felt the need to go get a manager when he presented, you know, an average Pizza Inn coupon. I just kind of documented that, and it made me wonder if, you know, if there was some kind of racial motive to it as well. So I wanted to find out. So I went into the Pizza Inn, and when I walked in, there were several staff standing around at the hostess stand. I walked right up to the hostess stand, and I had the coupon in my hand. I don't think I, you know, put it right in anybody's face or anything like that. But I said I have a coupon for a free buffet. It says at any participating location. That was the only that was the only like term or condition on the entire coupon, was just that it had to be a participating location. So I mentioned it to the hostess, who completely brushed it off. She's like, yeah, that's fine, it's whatever. She took me right to my seat. I sat down. I waited for my server. I had the coupon sitting on the table in front of me, and my server walked up and she asked me if I wanted anything to drink, and not knowing at the time how far this was going to go, I said I'll just start with a water, because I'm not trying to spend money on a Diet Coke or something for, you know, something. So I just said, you know, I'll just take a water right now. She went and grabbed me a water. Before she walked away, she noticed the coupon, and this is how I know that these coupons are common at this establishment, is without saying a word about the coupon, she looked down at it and she said, you can go and get your plate whenever you're ready. She didn't have to ask anything. She saw it and she immediately knew what was up and why I was there. But I wanted to make sure that, you know, she didn't just have like a passing glance at it, you know, and then that gets used as an excuse later. I wanted to make sure she really looked at it. So as I stood up, I picked the coupon up and I held it up in front of her and I said, hey, do I need to pay with this coupon that you're looking at right now before I eat or after I eat? And she said, oh, either one is fine. Like, I can take it now, or you can just give it to me when you leave. It doesn't really matter. And so I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it now, because I wanted to confront the manager with that coupon. I didn't tell her that at the moment. But that's why I decided not to turn it in right that moment. So I went and I got my food, and I sat down with my plate of food, and I had my drink in front of me, and I had the coupon, and I took pictures, and I started documenting that on Snapchat. And at that point, I was just really confused, because nothing that he described that he went through, that Pizza Inn has even confirmed that he went through. And my experience was not the same. My experience was totally different. Like, it was just like I was just completely welcomed in, and it was just every time I tried to get a staff member to look at this coupon and say, you know, oh, that looks funny to me, or, you know, it was just, everything was totally normal. It was really what you would expect when you go into a restaurant, you know, which was, you know, not his experience though. So at that point, I'm sitting there and I'm confused. So I document that, and then I called Link. Right. And I said, you're not going to believe this, man, but I'm sitting right here with a plate of the buffet pizza right in front of me. You know, I've shown my coupon to my server. I've asked if I need to give it to her before or after my meal. I had her look at it real good, like no issues whatsoever. Right. And you know, at that point, I mean, you know, Link was even more upset, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I mean, when I was actually when I left Pizza Inn, and me and Rex parted ways, he said he was going down to the restaurant. I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking in my mind, it's like, it's not gonna be. He gonna get turned away. You know, it's ain't. I'm not thinking like, okay, it's gonna be a big old race thing and this, that, and the third. I'm like, you gonna get turned away just like I did, bro.
That's how I was thinking.
And then when he called me, see, when I left there, I stopped by the house, and then I got out. I came out here to meet my mother out here at the center. And we was working on some stuff at the center. And when he called me, we was in the middle of looking over, like, we was doing flyers and business cards and stuff like that. And Rex, he was like, hey man, what are you doing? And I said, so I'm sitting here, I'm chilling with my mom and whatnot, we're going over some stuff. And I said, but what's up? What are you doing? He said, you're not gonna believe this. I'm sitting in Pizza Inn with my food in front of me, with my drink, and I'm like, get out of here, dog. He was like, yeah, no questions asked. And that's where that phrase comes from. He was like, no questions asked. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. And he was like, I'm serious, man. And then he starts to ask me, he says, okay, well, what was that manager's name you talked to? And I was like, well, I don't know his name, Rex. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, what did he look like? Was he big? Was he small? Was he this? Was he that? And you can't, I mean, there's no way in the world that, I remember this conversation like it's yesterday, because when you feel like, when I get the information like, okay, wait a minute, I got turned away, you know. But when he told me he was welcome, I'm talking about welcomed in. No questions asked. He had the same coupon in his hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's when the wheels started turning. I'm like, yo, I've really been done wrong, though. Like, this don't make no sense, because the only reason I stopped there is because I wanted to grab me some grub right quick. I just went and paid the bill. I didn't have no funds on me like that. I'm just going to take this coupon that I got from my pastor, you know, and go in here and use it. It was supposed to be a blessing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to use this coupon right here. And he's telling me that, hey, man, I'm sitting right down. After I don't got turned away about an hour after I left the rest. It's not a day or two later, you know what I'm saying, where they can forget about it or something like this. Is fresh on their mind. You know, so he was like, once he asked me what the manager looked like and stuff like that, I kind of told it and ran it by him. He was like, all right, well, I'll talk to you in a little while. I'm going to call him over here right now. And you can go ahead and tell him what happened.
Right, so Link described the manager to me, and he didn't know his name. And I said, okay. And at that point, I do remember that while me and Link were talking, I said, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and confront him now with the coupon. And I remember Link telling me at that moment, okay, that's fine, go ahead and do that, but whatever you do, don't give him the coupon. If you give the coupon to anybody, make sure it's an owner or another manager, but not him, especially if after you talk to him, you really think something is up. Now, at this point, I still wasn't thinking that it was like a racial thing. Like, I know that might sound a little bit ignorant, but at that point, I didn't want to jump the gun on it. I really wanted to talk to him, and I really want to stress that when I did ask for him, when I did speak to him, I mean, it was very respectful, because I didn't want to take it someplace like that and be wrong, because this is like a really serious accusation to make about somebody, when you're talking about discrimination in the workplace and things like that. I was really just confused, but I wanted to make sure that I got, the story from him and give him a chance to really explain to me why my experience was so different, because that was what I wanted to know. So I called my server over, and she came over to me. She had noticed that I hadn't, taken a bite out of my food, and at that point it had probably been 10 or 15 minutes. And I had really just been sitting there trying to decide like what I was going to say and like what questions I wanted to ask, and like it was really heavy on my mind. So when my server came over, I asked her, I said, do you have a manager here? And I described him from the description that Link had given me, and she knew who I was talking about. She said, yeah, that's Steven. And my server was a young black girl, probably like 20, 21 years old. And I asked her, I said, I want to ask you a personal question. And she said, okay. I said, is Steven racist? Do you think he's racist? Have you had any issues or complaints from, any of the other servers about him in regards to, him treating people differently based on the color of their skin? And she did not want to answer the question. She was just like, I'm not really comfortable. And when I could see how uncomfortable it made her, which I understood, I just told her, well, look, this is why I'm asking. I was like, I've already walked in. I've already shown this coupon to you guys. It's already been accepted. I'm sitting here with my food. 2 hours ago, my roommate, who's a black man, came in here, and he presented the same coupon, and he was turned away by Steven, who told him that he was being turned away because the signature was illegible. And I just want to know from you, if you can give me any insight, before I speak to this manager, as to why you think he would have done that. And also, is that true? Do you guys have any policies in place for the review of coupons? Or to go and get a manager when someone presents a coupon? And she looked at me like she had no idea what I was talking about. And she said, well, I can tell you we don't have any policies in place for reviewing coupons. We don't review the signature. And we do not have a policy in place to go and get a manager when a coupon is presented. And she looked the coupon over again, and she said, I can't think of a reason why Steven would have not accepted it. And I said, okay, let me ask you this. On the coupon, the only condition that it gives is that this has to be a participating Pizza Inn. There's no terms and, see manager for terms and conditions on the back of it or anything. That is it. I said, are you guys a participating location for this coupon? And she said to me that, actually, sir, at the last store meeting that we had, they actually handed those same coupons out to all of the staff to use, and most of us have already used them. And at that point, I was like, okay, go and get him, because, I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to make a scene. I don't want you to tell him, well, I want to speak to him. Just go and get him for me. I'm not going to make a scene. I'm not going to raise my voice. But I want to know what's going on, because I don't want to say that he's racist, but I can't understand. And she said, oh, well, they definitely have their ways around here. She said, I'll go and get him for you. So she left, came back, told me that he was at the restroom and he would be at my table in a moment. I said, that's fine. She walked away. So I sat there, a couple of minutes went by, and then, the gentleman, Stephen, walked up. And he said, hey, what's going on? And, I said this in my video, and I'll say it again. He was very polite to me, very respectful. And for all intents and purposes, we had, it was, I grilled him pretty hard about it, but there was no foul language. It was a reasonable conversation. No scene was made. But before he walked up, I covered the coupon with my hand. And when he walked up, I said, yeah, I walked in here and I have a coupon for a free buffet, one free buffet. It says at any participating Pizza Inn, and I've already shown it to the staff and they said it was okay, and I've got my food, but before I eat, I want to make sure that, everything is fine. And he was already nodding and agreeing. He was like, oh yeah, that's no problem, that's, we get those all the time. And as he was saying all of that, I took my hand off the coupon. And he immediately recognized it. I could tell from his face that he recognized it, not just for what it was, but he recognized it as the same coupon that Link had brought in 2 hours ago. And at that point, he immediately started trying to backtrack, because he knew that he had to tell me the same thing that he had told Link, or at least tell me why he wouldn't take it from Link, which is what he did. And he said, well, can I hold that coupon for a moment? I said, yeah, sure. I said, you actually already held it, because my roommate, who's black, came in here and presented this coupon to you 2 hours ago, and you turned him away. I've walked in, I've shown it to your staff. They've told me that it's fine, that there's no problem with it. And they've already told me to go and get my food, and here I am with my food, and I want to know why my experience has been so different than my roommate's. And he said, well, when your roommate presented it to me, which I later found out that that's not the case, and there seems to be a lot of people that think that Link didn't seek out a manager when he got there. When he presented the coupon at the hostess stand, they went and got Stephen, which they didn't do for me. But he said, when Link presented it to me, or when your roommate presented it to me, I can't read the signature. It's illegible. And so, I'm hesitant to accept it, because my boss, the owners of the restaurant, they're just so strict on coupons, and, they would probably yell at me, and I'm quoting, they would probably yell at me, and I don't want to get in trouble with them. And I said, can you tell me where on this coupon it says that in order to use it, the signature has to be legible? And he said, well, it doesn't say that. I was like, exactly. I was like, and to be frank with you, most signatures aren't legible. They're signatures. I was like, so if there's nothing on the coupon stating that the signature has to be legible, then I still don't see the problem here. I don't see why you turned him away. And he said, well, I can tell from the signature that it doesn't belong to my general manager or my DM. And see, these coupons are only valid at the location of the general manager or the DM that signed them. And then I had a real problem with what he was saying, because I said, you're telling me that a general manager or a DM signs each one of these coupons, and then these coupons are not just handed out at the store, they're handed out at churches, they're handed out at jobs, they're handed out at schools. And then the customers are supposed to know which manager signed these coupons, and then go and call the store and find out, you know, if so-and-so is the manager there that signed, and then no, I was like, that does not make any sense to me. Can you show me an actual policy, anything in the handbook, to back up what you're saying to me right now? And he said, no, he said, I can't, you know, I'm not allowed to show you anything like that. And I said, okay, well, I would like to speak to your manager, because I saw that he was an associate manager. I said, I'd like to speak to someone above you, please. And he was like, I'm sorry, there's no one above me here. The owners will be here tomorrow if you'd like to speak to them. And I was like, well, look, and I said this to him, I was like, I don't want to sit here and call you a racist. I was like, I came here to find out why my roommate was treated the way that he was treated and why I was treated the way I was treated. At first, I expected to get the same treatment, but obviously I received totally different treatment. And even then, I wanted to speak to you face to face and give you an opportunity to explain to me, you know, why my experience was different. And you can't give me a logical reason or any policy that makes sense to me for why his treatment was different and why you guys accepted this coupon. And, you know, another thing that Pizza Inn is stuck with is that they didn't accept my coupon. This man definitely tried to take my coupon. Not only was he holding it, but he told me that he wanted to go to the back and take pictures of it and all that. And at that point, I said, no, I appreciate that you've accepted the coupon. I appreciate the food, but I don't feel comfortable giving you that coupon. Now, if there's another manager here or if one of the owners are here, I'll be glad to turn it in to them. But frankly, since you can't give me a reason why you didn't accept this coupon earlier from my roommate, I'm really not comfortable giving it to you. And he said, well, I'm sorry, I'm the only person here that can take it. And I said, well, that being the case, Stephen, I appreciate the talk. I shook his hand. I said, I appreciate the talk. I appreciate that you came out here, you know, and told me what you told me, but, you know, I'm really not satisfied with your answers. Unless there's something else that you can explain to me, I would like for you to go and get a to-go box so that I can give this food to my roommate that you turned away. And he said, no problem, sir. I'll be happy to do that for you. I said, okay, thank you. He went and got a to-go box, brought it back to me. I put it in the to-go box. The server came over and said, sir, she watched what happened. She said, I'd like to give you a free to-go drink if you'd like one. I said, yeah, I would. Thank you so much. And she went and got me one. And then I left. And I'm trying to think now if there's any other parts of the conversation that I missed. All right, and you know, just one other thing that I really want to throw in there. You know, like I said, I already had spoken to the staff and I had showed them the card. I asked him, you know, given that there were no other terms and conditions, see manager at store, anything like that, and I showed him all that, and I showed him the little date and the initials on the back and everything. I said, you know, another question that I've got for you is why you're sitting here telling me all these policies that you won't back up with any, you know, that you're not willing to, you know, show me any documentation of. I was like, I've already shown this coupon to your staff. You know, I told your hostess about it. I've shown it to my server. They've already accepted it. I was like, why is it that your staff had no problem with this at all? Why is it that your staff has already assured me multiple times that this coupon is accepted here and that there's no problem with it and that there's no procedure for reviewing signatures or anything like that? And his exact words to me were, oh, well, they don't know what I know. And that was when I started to get really uncomfortable, because I knew at that point that that there was more going on than just policy.
All right, and initially when I came in the restaurant and like I said, I had the coupon in my hand and I showed it to the server. She took the coupon and everything, and I was talking to the guy, Stephen, was talking to me. You know, he was asking me all these questions about, you know, who I got the coupon for or where I worked at. The hostess that was standing beside him said, it says at any participating Pizza Inn, it should be good. And then that's when he kind of ignored it and was like, oh, and where do you work at? And I was like, what does that matter?
Yeah, I heard that story too, about one of the staff members that was standing next to the manager even said, you know, this coupon's okay, like we can accept it, and he ignored her to continue to turn him away. Yeah, I heard about that as well. And have you guys all...
I just want to read the statement. You know, the day after, the next day, I got a message from Mr. Steve Stansel. He's the owner of both Pizza Inns in Rocky Mount, and it reads, Link, my name is Steve Stansel. I own both Pizza Inns in Rocky Mount. I apologize for the confusion on the coupon you presented. We try to make sure our procedures are clear on coupons, but it doesn't always work. Obviously, you fell in the category of a time where it did not work. I feel certain that I feel certain had your friend gone in and asked the same manager the same question, and he's saying your friend go in and ask the same manager the same question, what reason would I have to go in and show a manager the coupon? I just showed it to the staff. They took it to the manager. But anyway, I feel certain if your friend had gone in and asked the same manager the same question, he would have received the same answer. In any case, please accept my apology. Please come back in for a meal on me. I make it a practice of supporting my managers, but they do make mistakes. I do feel based on the picture I've seen of the coupon, I would have taken it. I have not seen the actual coupon yet. I take full responsibility. Again, I take full responsibility in that all our managers should be on the same page, and obviously they were not. I believe if you look at our staff, at our staff and those at our other Pizza Inn on Fairview Road, you would agree that there is nothing racist about us. I hope you would accept my apology and give us another try. I can be reached, and he can put his phone number. This says thank you for your business. Now, I replied to it and I respectfully turned down that request for the pizza, because I went in with the coupon, and that's when I actually really wanted to do the buffet. And like I said, there was nothing about race or anything. I just wanted to, just use the coupon and eat. And I really, once I got that message, I'm like, okay, well, you really think this is a game or a joke or something? Like, I mean, I was embarrassed. I was turned around at the door, you know what I'm saying, and had to walk out of there. And then to come to find out that my roommate comes in a little later because he's a different color, and he's able to get the white glove treatment, the Royal Corporal, and he really didn't want to eat anything from that restaurant. But I just wanted to read that to you.
Well, my question is, how does he compare the Fairview Road store with that store?
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out the comparison.
Well, I have my.
He owns both stores.
Right, he owns both stores.
And then Fairview is in almost
The black neighborhood.
Black area.
That's the black neighborhood.
Right.
That's where they all go.
Right. Now here's one thing I do want to say, and I've talked to my son about this, and I'm gonna say this because it's already out there and people know that. My son has been working at this pizza for these owners for 6 years. Since he was 16 years old. He's been employee of the month. I've actually gone to the Pizza Inn on Honey Hill Road and sat with the owner, Mr. Stansel, and this manager that treated me unfairly, and fellowship with them. Sat at their little party where they was giving out the bonuses and things like that. And to come in and get treated like this with them not knowing who I am, it's just disheartening. And that's what thing that gets me. Like my son will put blood, sweat, and tears in working at that place. Actually, he still works there from time to time. And what people don't understand is I really find it offensive. You know what I'm saying? Other family members that's been there for a long time, I won't say as well, but been there for a long time, has been working for these people. And you're gonna come in and treat me like I'm something, like I'm making, first of all, the statement that they put out when WRAL got it, they came down to interview me. And when the statement that they put out, it could have been fraudulent, is to insinuate that I have time to sit down and conjure up fake coupons. Now, I'm not saying it's not done, but it's not only done by black people, and it sure wasn't done by me, because I don't have time. I have the coupon, I have the initials on the back. I asked my roommate not to give him the coupon. You could have gave it to anybody else, the owner, any other manager there, but do not give it to this guy. Because one thing is, I'm not slow. You're not gonna change the signature. You're not gonna erase the date on the back. Even if my roommate would have gave him the coupon, they could have took the coupon and threw the coupon away and say, we never got the coupon. They're lying. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason people think it's about a coupon, but it's about the treatment, because here's the difference. I got stopped at the door, and Steve came out and he made it a point to turn me away. You see what I'm saying? My roommate, he walked in, he wanted to show them the coupon. They wouldn't even look at it. I got you, come on in. And that's the whole thing about it. It's not about a coupon, it's about the treatment. You can't treat people different based on the way they look. You want to judge people by a cover. Open up the book and read it. Listen, let me open the book for you. I'm a military veteran of 8 years. I'm a college graduate. I own my own business. You see what I'm saying? I have no time for games and stuff like this to go around and play games and word games with folks who are trying to cover themselves because they mistreated somebody. And you still want to admit, you want to give me a half apology, but then you want to insinuate that I went and created a coupon, or I might have, or talking about we getting up and walking out. Then I called corporate. I didn't get a response from corporate because I guess they talking about franchise or whatever. But I didn't get a call from corporate. I got a text message from Mr. Steve Stansel. I find it offensive. You don't even have the time to take the time out to try to get my information or anything and give me a phone call. You know what I'm saying? If you're deeply rooted in the community, then you could have definitely took the effort to try to reach out to me on a different level and give me a better apology than that. And that's where it really hit home, and I really took it personal. But then the response that I got from the community and Rex got from the community were all the messages that come in. Military veterans that's homeless, that's been turned, that paid for their meal. From this same exact manager, what is he still doing there? And this is my thing, mixed couples, blacks and whites. We have statements from some people that we're definitely going to keep, and they will remain anonymous. And some people who is just telling us flat out, this is how I was treated. And you guys are not the only ones. I'm a God-fearing man in the church, all types of stuff, and I find it offensive. I find it offensive for someone to say that I'm a quote unquote criminal. I'm gonna go and forge some stuff to get a free meal. I don't want a handout. I work too hard for mine. You see what I'm saying? And that's the issue here. It's a mix up in treatment. It's unfair treatment. And to be honest, all of the stuff that's going on out here today, you got to be a lot smarter than that. You can't just treat people a certain type of way and try to sweep it under the rug. And for this guy to still be, and for him to still be employed at that establishment shows me that you have no care for what happened, and we just not gonna stand for that.
I still want you to go back though to the comparison of the Fairview Road store. I'm still trying to justify his point.
Well,
Because you have different type of people that go to the different establishments.
Right.
One is on Edgecombe side, one is on Nash side.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how he wants to compare the Edgecombe side.
Are you talking about when he said, if you look at my staff, you can tell that it's not racist?
Right.
He's saying we hire black people, how can we be racist?
But that's on the black side of town.
Right.
So you expect to have black folk over there.
Yeah.
I go in there all the time. I went in there last Thursday because I like that store better. And I've also have posted online that I think they need to remodel that store. It's been past time. I've been posting that for years.
Right.
And I even spoke to the some people on the city council.
Right.
And I just don't understand why he want to compare that store. Because I'm in there. I went in on Thursday, and I probably was in there about an hour. I took my laptop in. No, they don't have free Wi-Fi.
Right.
I use my Wi-Fi. So let me make that clear. And why they don't have Wi-Fi, I don't understand.
Right. But we got it at the other store.
They do have it on that side.
I'm not.
I don't know because I never liked that store, and I don't go in there. I don't like it.
Right.
But I'm just I got a problem with him trying to compare that store with this store because that has nothing to do with that store. The treatment that's going on over there. Now I would love to see the statistics on the complaints they have had on the Edgecombe County store. Since you want to talk about that,
Right.
since he wants to bring that up,
Right.
And I'm quite sure there are probably very little to none because I never heard of any.
Right, and that's what it is with me. Like even if you look at this, even if you look at the Pizza Inn in a whole,
Right.
And I have this on. Look how many black managers there are at those two stores. Please, we need to research how many black managers. I know one, but she's very, very light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very light skinned too.
Like 2, and he's light skinned.
Right, and he's very, very
Right.
light skinned. You see what I'm saying? But no other. If you got a little dark complexion to your skin, you're not in leadership. You see what I'm saying? But look what community. Look at the ratio and
Right.
the community that you're serving. You see what I'm saying? If you got, we need to have equal representation.
Well, I would like to see the ratio of blacks to white in management at the store that's in question.
Right.
The Hill store is 2 white owners, 1 white associate manager, and then there's 1 black female manager. I believe that's what their management is. And from what I understand and I've received this in multiple conversations with staff members, that 1 black female that is in management there is very holds the same opinion of her race that her other managers do. I've received several complaints about her mistreating the black staff there as well. So, you know, I'm assuming there's got to be a little something to that.
And that's why I have a problem with him comparing that store. He needs to give us some statistics of the store in question.
Yeah.
He don't even need to bring up the other store.
Yeah, the argument is so flawed. It's just like Steve. As soon as Steven, the manager, as soon as this came out, he posted a picture on his Facebook of him with a black guy sitting next to him. How could I be racist? I have a black friend.
He got 1 black guy. He got a Hispanic guy. You know what I'm saying? And they're in the bar getting drunk. Are you serious? Like I have black friends. How can I be racist? Black friends. How can I be racist? And I'm like, really? Are we gonna pull that card? These are the times. Now you're gonna pull out a picture. Now you're offending me more. And you only adding fuel to the fire, and that's the issue.
What kills me is that their whole offer to smooth it over is free pizza.
Yeah.
You could have just honored the coupon.
Right.
You know?
And that's the whole thing. And the one thing about it, and when you're told by people that actually work there that they're told to watch the black customers, you know. So I didn't have a fighting chance with a free coupon or nobody else when I came in there, because you're watching me off the gate. You already got this picture in your mind. All right, let me watch this guy looking at the coupon, looking at me, and then you want to insinuate certain things, and we're not going to do that. You know, we're living in this 2018. Get over the whole superior race thing. Get over the profiling thing. Get over all of that. Because we need to cut that out. That's an issue. If it wasn't me that walked in that establishment, imagine if it was somebody else that had a little bit more fire under their belt, and they came in and they were saying something, or they would got upset and made a scene or something like that at the place, and then the police would have been called. You see what I'm saying? And a whole other incident would have popped off out there at that restaurant, because this manager is absolutely wrong.
Well, do you pay as you go in or as you come out?
You pay. You don't.
No.
You pay. You come out.
Yeah, you pay when you come out, and they're sticking to that too. See, he didn't present the coupon on the way out. Blah blah blah. But with their policy with coupons is you can pay with the coupon up front, or you can pay when you're done eating. You can turn in the coupon at any time, because that's just a coupon. All they do is put it in the register. You know what I mean? So the server told me that you can pay with a coupon, and you're not really paying. You just give it to them, and it doesn't matter when they take it. It's different than cash. With cash, they want to wait and see how much you eat, and if you get this or that. But with the coupon, it's like I'm restricted to just the buffet. I only eat the buffet, and then I leave, so they take the coupon at any point. But my thing is, how do you go from, sir, that signature is completely illegible, to, well, I know that signature is not my general manager's.
Yeah.
You just said that it's illegible, that you can't read it at all, but now you know whose signature it ain't.
Well, again, too, I want to. Okay, so the coupon was for a free buffet.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Okay, so what's the difference in me going in with the coupon versus me going in and pay? Wouldn't I go in, sit down, and why would I stop by the cash register?
Exactly. You would.
So you would go in and sit down, and you would let them know you got a coupon before you start eating.
Right. That's what we did.
So I'm having a hard time with trying to walk out without paying.
Right.
That's what kills me. Is it's like, how would you, even if you try to follow their own logic, they told me that coupon was accepted. I eat. What are you going to do? Then stop me and make me pay on the way out? Sir, you've already eaten. You need to pay. Well, no, I've spoken to a couple staff members. No, actually, they're wrong. You need to pay. Is that like...
The coupon is the same as money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying, like,
whether I pay with a coupon walking out or pay with the money, it's the same thing.
Right, it's irrelevant.
So I don't understand why it was even a discussion.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I go to, now, say for instance, I drive up to a drive-through, you're going to tell them that you got a coupon, they'll tell you,
Right.
I'll take it off when I get up there. But if you're going in and sit down, then that's the waitress duty to, deal with the coupon.
Right.
So I mean, I'm just having a hard time with the coupon thing.
As big as this story has gotten, if there was a policy in place to back up what they're claiming, it would be all over Facebook by now.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
nothing-
it's no policy they can come up with because you got to go by what's presented on the card.
Right.
Everything's got to be on the card.
Exactly.
Hey,
Just like when they say limit one per coupon. If it doesn't
Right.
have that on the coupon,
Then you can't hold me to
there's
one.
been lawsuits over that
Right.
already. That's why that's already established. Like this.
It doesn't make sense.
And my thing is, they don't even follow their own policies and procedures because when the dine in, it said dine in, so they allowed you to take it out.
Right.
So you can't tell me about me following your policy and procedure you don't even follow.
Right.
Exactly.
So I mean that's one of the big things.
You know.
Like I said, I still got a problem with the manager the owner trying to justify that the store don't have issues comparing it with the Edgecombe store.
Right.
I wouldn't even want to hear anything about the Edgecombe store. They're not in question.
Right. And it's just the whole thing was so unprofessional because even when the posts were made, and if you have any type of professionalism about yourself and you're in leadership and you're in management, I just come off being a supervisor myself for so many years, and like I said, military, I own my own business and stuff like that. You're not gonna chime in on Facebook and social media posts and going back and forth, and your sister and you guys are brother-in-laws are making threats to my roommate. You know what I'm saying? Legit, we have all this stuff documented. Threats, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna come see him. This, that. I mean, you're not gonna be doing all of that, and you're wrong. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't. And when I call corporate, I said it doesn't make sense. I said, why is this guy so unprofessional? Now I've heard that the posts have been taken down since, but you can't take down what we already on capture.
Oh, yeah.
So all of that stuff we have over 150 messages. We have over 150 messages, and we have 51 that's claiming the same type of profiling or racism against them. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about, if it was an isolated incident, if it doesn't happen, if this never happens before, then guess what? Then you wouldn't have all these statements and these people coming forward. You see what I'm saying? Talking about the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. Here's the difference. My white roommate, my white friend, my white brother went back and came in there and went to bat for me just to see what was going on. The other people didn't have people that come in and say something on their behalf. That's the difference. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
That's right. Now that this has happened, what do you want to see come out of all this? I've listened to you, and it's not about you all, but it sounds like you're concerned about other folk that are afraid to speak up for themselves or have no one else to speak up for them. So it appears you guys want to, bring some closure to this that will be good for all.
Right.
So, and I'm quite sure you all understand that whatever discipline take place, they are not going to come out and tell you because they can't, because it's personnel.
Right.
But the community should be able to see what happens. So
Yes.
you all know that that they can't tell you what they do, but you would love to see them do something.
Right.
And also, I did hear you mention something about diversity. Now, in the year of 2018, anyone working in a place of employment should not have to go through diversity training these days and time because it should be commonplace since 1980.
Right.
So we shouldn't have to go through diversity training. Everything should fit in their policies and procedures.
Right.
And at this point in time, they need to look at their policies and procedures and see what they have in place.
Right.
when an employee does something, as you all have described, and going on social media, you know, creating animosity when they should be trying to digress the situation. And it looks like they are escalating the situation. So, you know, I'm quite sure you all want to see it somewhat die down, go away. But in the meantime, you want to see some changes at that location. And it don't have to be all about race. But you know, my thing is, whenever it's more than one race involved, it makes it race, but it doesn't make it a bad thing.
It does.
That's how, you know, things come to fruition. You know, you better, you know, better communications come within the workplace. So, what would you actually want to, what would like to see come out of all this as relates to the store owner himself? Because it sounds like he has contradicted himself. And if he does that, then how would the employees move forward? It sounds like, you know, it's starting at the top.
Exactly.
So
100%. And I mean, if I could just be, you know what I'm saying? Link is the victim. So, you know, whatever he's satisfied with, you know, is fine with me. But just from what I've observed, I know for a fact this manager has been fired before. He's been moved around between those two stores before. I've had staff members call me crying about how him and the owners have treated them. I've had other business owners in Rocky Mount contact me saying that they can't speak out against this because they own businesses in Rocky Mount as well. But they filed complaints with Pizza Inn, and they have also filed complaints with the city of Rocky Mount about what's going on over there. Yet this manager continues to have a job. He continues to get moved around. As much as this has blown up, all the different news sources that have picked it up, and the fact that the owners, you know, at first defended him. Then when it went more viral, when the video was getting more views, then they threw him under the bus and said, well, you know, he made a mistake and I apologize for that. And then went as far as to tell Link, if I saw it, I would accept it. That tells me that what's going on isn't just that you have a racist manager. It's that he's being protected by the owners. What I would like to see happen is I would like to see them lose their franchise. Now, they could always fire that manager and then things will die down for a little while. But I feel like as long as the same owners that protected that manager are in charge of those restaurants, as soon as things get too comfortable, the same atmosphere, the same toxic work environment is going to come back for the staff and for the customers and the patrons that go there. I honestly think at this point, as much as they have defended that not store manager, but that associate manager, as much as they've defended him, and as long as there have been complaints about that store, and I know complaints have been filed, like officially with Pizza Inn and with the city of Rocky Mount. So as much as they're protecting him, I honestly feel like they must share his views. So if it was me, if I was the victim, they all got to go. They don't deserve that franchise. If we're going to have a Pizza Inn in Rocky Mount, that franchise should be handed over to owners that will take care of that business and its patrons and the community that supports it the right way. And I don't trust those owners to do that, even if they do fire Steve.
And I agree. When it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying, all of the training in the world, you know, definitely we can train the staff, we can do this, but like I said, it starts at the top. And what we need to do is show that this is not going to be tolerated. I don't care if it's an assistant manager, I don't care if it's an owner or anything like that. Like I said, I have family that works there. You know what I'm saying? And what about in other people's families that work there as well? You know what I'm saying? What type of things are they instilling in your children? You know what I'm saying? What type of disciplines, what type of behaviors are they telling us, you know, watch the black people? You know what I'm saying? Watch this type of person. This type of person got this in their head, their hair, this, that, and the third. So we're encouraging discrimination. And we can't have that. You see what I'm saying? We're encouraging it. We're rewarding it. You know what I'm saying? You'll get put up in the leadership if you know, we're posting stuff on Facebook that catch certain folks that walk out. You're encouraging this. You know, and when you encourage it, we call that enabling. You know what I'm saying? And when you enable behaviors like that, you really need to come off, you need to be humble. And the way to be humble is peace and need to snatch it from a bundle. That's what they need to do. To be honest with you, at this point, like Rex said, to be honest, that's the only thing that I can see right now.